Hey y'all, you are tuned in to the Powerhouse Lash podcast. This podcast is my diary to the lash community where I share my highs, lows, lessons, and rants based on my lash journey. My heart is to share the reality of what it's really like to build a lash business, and I hope this episode helps you feel seen, validated, educated, humored, and makes your lash journey a little bit easier. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm glad that you're here. Now, let's get to it. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Powerhouse Lash podcast. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time listening to an episode of the podcast, thank you especially for being here. I hope that something is said that encourages you and helps make your lash journey a little bit easier. I just want to remind you guys that Build Like a Powerhouse, my relaunched social media marketing and branding class, is live and mentorship is now available again. I want to shout out one of my mentees real quick. I have a lash artist and then a product-based business owner who I am currently working with. And this week, my lash artist booked 4 new clients after applying some of the things that she has learned in the last 2 weeks, just 2 weeks of taking the class and being a mentee. So shout out to you, my girl. I'm very proud of you, and I look forward to working with you these next 3 months and seeing your growth and your progress. So as you guys can see from the title, I'm sharing a little bit about, taking some L's. It's a part of business. It's a part of life in general, but knowing that doesn't make it easier. It's easier said than done, trying to understand that L's are just part of the game. But I'm going to share with you guys just a few of my most recent L's, and I hope that they'll encourage you and, help you keep going. So we'll start with just yesterday. So yesterday I lost a client, man, and it really did kind of hurt my heart. I lost a client who has been a client for a little over a year now, I believe. And so we've had some scheduling conflicts the last 2 fields that she's had, her last 2 appointments. We've had some scheduling conflicts, and I do my best to not do my best. I absolutely respect my client's time, and I try to make sure that in me rescheduling and, getting people off of my wait list, that I respect my time as well. And so with the client that I lost, a couple of weeks ago, we had an appointment set, and I asked that my clients reschedule their appointments 48 hours before the appointment is set. And so that means to give me 2-day notice, and let's just go ahead and get you moved around. Now, I don't have all the crazy fees and rules in place, but I do have a rescheduling fee, and that fee just comes into play when we have to, when someone needs to cancel or reschedule outside of the 48-hour window. So we had a situation where she needed to reschedule the day before the appointment, and it got a little sticky, but it wasn't bad. She ended up just rebooking for another day and time. And so it occurred again here yesterday where she needed to possibly reschedule an appointment the day before. And so I have people who are like waiting to get in these spots, and considering the situation that we had just right before this appointment, I was like, let's go ahead and just get you rescheduled. Because I have to, I have to respect everybody's time. I want to respect my client's time, and I want to make sure that I'm doing what's best for me as a business owner and for my schedule. So I waited a few hours because she told me she would let me know. She told me she would figure something out. And so that meaning this was the conversation after we had, went ahead and decided to reschedule. But I waited a few hours before I canceled the appointment. And then after I canceled the appointment and put someone who was waiting for that time spot in it, she let me know that, she would be able to make it. And so just kind of as a result of all of the things, she chose to not move forward with services. And I totally understood that. I totally respected that. And in a sense, I appreciated it because I didn't want that to become a problem or an ongoing thing. And that kind of stuff just really makes me uncomfortable. Even being in business for 3 years, nobody likes to be in situations where they have to, remind people or enforce their policies, especially people that, we've grown with and, we've grown to care about and all the things. So I did lose a client, and it did kind of have me a little sad. But in the same, before the day was over, I had 2 new people booked, and I don't consider new people clients until they've scheduled and come to 2 fields. So I'll say that I got 2 new customers yesterday. So that's a win within the loss. But losing loyal clients is never fun. It's never easy because, again, after all that time, you kind of do life with people. We didn't talk a whole lot. Some of my clients, they'll share their lives with me, but there were just something, whatever. I'm gonna miss her, but it is what it is. I hope she finds a great lash artist to continue her services with. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to one of my new friends who is now also a mentee. And so we share a spiritual space together. We've been going to like our church's women's Bible studies together, and just doing life and walking out our Christ walk together, learning and growing from each other and all the things. So we in my mentorship program, I have these videos that I ask the mentees to watch because they have some real earth principles in them that help you with business. And so we were talking about it after a Bible study one day, and I think that whatever we were learning in Bible study somehow aligned for us to probably get on this subject, but we subject hop all the time. But anyway, so one of the things that she always asks me is like, how did you become so obedient? Like when God tells you to do something, like within my business and my life, but we were talking about business. She's like, when God tells you to do something or we have an idea, it looks like, you just go for it. You just do it. Like to us on the outside looking in, it looks like, Tita Brand just get it done. She want to do this, so she do it. And she want to do that, so she do it. And you just move on it. Like, how did you get to that point? And I was like, I really don't know because I mean, other than failing and well, not other than, that's what it is. I will say that I got to the where I got to, I don't want to say where I am because that's not what I'm trying to say. It became easier for me to move on the things that I wanted to do by losing. It took a lot of losing. It took a lot of losing and then being stuck in a place, and then over time, after you do that rinse and repeat, you get tired of wallowing in stuff for a long time or sitting in bad positions for a long time. So my yes to God just got faster. So when God tells me to plant a seed, yeah, I may be scared. I'm still scared to do stuff. Like that's the thing. I'm not like super fearless and this is a new idea, let's go for it. No, my social media marketing and branding class, Build Like a Powerhouse, God told me to put that class in the earth January 2022. It didn't get released until February 2023. And that's mostly because I was afraid to do it. It was also because I didn't really have clear direction on, what to do and how to make what I wanted to share with the lash industry. I couldn't put it into a format, and I just couldn't. I didn't know what to do. Basically, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid to do it. I got tired of trying to research, and I didn't do a whole lot of research on how to do it. And so I just let it sit. And it's crazy because to think like, had I done this a year ago, who knows how many people I would have been able to help by now. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, one of my mentees, she's already gotten 4 new clients, and her goal for like the next couple of weeks was to have 5 new clients at her new price point. In 2 weeks, she got 4. And it was just, I'm like, wow, how many people, could I have helped by now had I just put the class out there in 2020 as I was supposed to. But I was afraid to, and I didn't move on it. And so my response time, like I said, has just gotten faster. The podcast, I was afraid to do, I was afraid to launch this podcast. And I won't say was supposed to, but I had the thought to start podcasting maybe like August 2022, early in the fall. And again, just too afraid. And, will people listen? And is it going to be good? And, well, I don't know this, and blah, blah, all the excuses. And I didn't release the podcast until December. And so far, I think it's doing pretty good. I got a pretty consistent listening base on all the episodes. So I'm appreciative of that. But, I still get scared. I still have fears. I still take losses. But you just have to do stuff scared. So back to this conversation that me and my friend and mentee were having, we were talking about some stuff from one of the videos, and the video is a sermon from Pastor Mike Todd of Transformation Church, and it's called Faith Like a Farmer. Y'all go watch it, okay? Faith Like a Farmer and Faith versus Fantasy, but Faith Like a Farmer is it, okay? So in this message, he's talking about the earth principle of whoever sows reaps a harvest. And it's a scripture in the Bible that, Sparkle, please. There's a scripture reference that he uses. I don't remember where it came from. But he talks about how he talks about the process. I'm not going to repreach his sermon. So he talks about the process of how things go. He talks about first, things come in form of a seed. And seed isn't necessarily like, oh, I'm about to have a baby, or, oh, my kid. Seed is anything that God gives you that he wants to be fruitful and to multiply. So if he gives you an idea, that's a seed. That's where I'm going with this. So all the ideas that God gives are seeds, and our job is to sow the seeds. That means put it in the ground, put it in fertile soil, do something with it so that it can start to grow. Like, just get started. That's the sowing. And so the process goes: seed, sow, time, work, harvest. So that's the whole little formula. So you have this idea, you put this idea out into the earth in this baby immature form, and then you give it time and you work. So in the time that you're waiting for this seed, this idea to manifest into the thing that you're dreaming of, the thing that you're working toward or praying for, you have to be working at the same time. I see a lot of people and hear a lot of people talk about faith and manifestation and, just trust God and make him the CEO of your business and everything will come to pass. And I mean, yeah, but no. If you can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't put no work to that faith, you're not going to get anything. You're going to be in the same position, faith in it, and stuck and stagnant, because faith without works is dead. And we love to quote that. We love to read that. We love to act like we believe that. But that's real talk. Like, you can have the faith of, we only need faith the size of a mustard seed, but you can have faith the size of the universe and no work. You're not going to get anywhere. So during the time that you're waiting for your idea to become whatever it is that you're dreaming of, you have to be still working toward those things so that it can practically happen. So that's seed, that's the sow, that's the time, that's the work, and then harvest. One thing that Pastor Mike said that really did it for me with this harvest thing, and this video is like a couple of years old, so I always go back to it to refresh myself when I'm, I don't know, feeling stuck or whatever. So there's a thing that he talks about harvest. Everybody wants that part. That's the part where the dream is coming through and the money is coming in and the books are super full and the products are sold out and it's just banging. But if you're not a farmer, he shares that you don't understand that harvest time just means more work. Like, think about it. Think about if you just got a field of corn. You got to go through that field row for row, and you have to pick the good corn, pick the bad corn, separate the corn, shuck the corn. I don't really know a whole lot about corn, but it's work. And if you only have a cornfield, that's just your work there. But if you got cornfield and apple trees and grapevines and all of the things, mean that multiple seeds that God is giving you. And an example of that is my lash business, the lash class, the mentorship, the podcast, the YouTube, and I think that's all I do. The training, all of those are seeds. And if all of those seeds are harvesting or producing a harvest, then that's even more work as I'm, living in the dream and living in the manifestation. So I will definitely say, definitely take into consideration that what you're praying for, you want to be prepared for. You want to have the tenacity to be able to keep afloat while you're living in all of the things that you want to happen. So that was just a little bit about what that was about, so that you can understand this conversation that we had. But she's like, when you just weren't afraid to sow seeds, and I have been afraid to sow seeds, I'm just faster to sow seeds now, because God has just shown me over and over, when I step where he wants me to step, then hey, it's holy there, and there'll be harvest there. So I want to encourage you guys to do the same. Another loss that I've taken recently, ooh, y'all, and it breaks my heart. The last 2.5 weeks, I have been extremely stressed because I made a ginormous, humongous, enormous, whatever means like massively big investment to help my company grow. And I did my research on the company that I invested in, and all the results that I was seeing from other people and the testimonials, and just from the initial meetings and everything. I was like, oh, this is it. And y'all, this is not it. Okay. And I don't think I'm gonna get my money back. I don't think I'm gonna get my money back. But that I took a huge loss, man, like almost $2,000 of a loss. And yeah, that's been really hard to deal with. But in a situation where you lose that much money, and I'm losing it quick, like it's going faster than it's coming back. And so that's kind of what's made it hard. But just I was at a point where I was still believing, and I've had to overcome the last couple of years, feeling like a quitter. Because I don't like to give up on stuff and be like, dang, that could have worked, or dang, I gave up on that. Like, it really makes me feel like horrible to feel like I quit on something that I started. But one thing that I've had to learn is it's okay to quit when things aren't working. If it's not serving you, if it's costing you your peace of mind, your money, and it's not producing a return, it's okay to walk away from things. And I'm gonna have to walk away from this investment. I invested time, I invested energy, and I invested again a lot of money. And that was a risk investing that money, a huge, huge risk investing that money. But I believe so much in my business and in my abilities and all the things. Why do I keep saying all the things? I don't want to be like that person who abuses a phrase like y'all are not y'all, but people are abusing whatever the case may be. Like, geez, can we give it a rest? And then you use it in the wrong placements of sentences. And anyway, that's not the point. I'm not trying to abuse all the things. So, but yeah, so it's been a huge loss. And I had to accept just a few days ago that, I'm going to have to pivot from this, and I may just have to eat this L. But what's on the other side of this L is more so of a win, because I've learned things. And I won't have to go through wondering like, oh, would that have worked? And it also put me in the position to remember that my success and, what God has for me can only be done by God. Like, for me to put all of my energy and my hopes and things for my growth into a company or into somebody else, it was real humbling. This was real humbling to be reminded like God is my source, and when he says it's time, that's when it's going to be time, and nothing that I do can accelerate his process and his plan for my life. So although again took a huge financial L, I'm still hopeful and I'm still moving, and I'm not gonna be scared. Don't be scared to make investments after you've made a poor investment. Like, that's just a part of the game. Like, you're gonna win and you're gonna lose and you're gonna learn and you're gonna do better, and then you invest again and you do what you got to do to keep things moving. Investing is a part of business, and a lot of people are scared to do that. But one thing that I have never been scared to do is make an investment. If there's a class that I need to take to learn something, I'm gonna take that class and spend that money, because if I'm gonna make more money after I apply these things and learn these things and master the things that I'm taking the class for, it's worth it. It's more than worth it. So I've never been afraid to drop a couple $100 or $1,000 to to move me forward and to learn and grow. So I encourage you to do the same. If there's something that's keeping you stagnant, you may have to pay somebody for their expertise to help you move. Like, that's just how the game goes. And, when you're in a position to where you have a wealth of knowledge and you're able to help other people, if it's what you choose to do, then you will want people to, sow into your business for your knowledge. Ain't nobody just out here trying to give away everything for free. Now on YouTube, I give free game. On the podcast, I give free game. Soon on Instagram, I'll be back giving free game. But just the meat of it, the intimacy of working with somebody, yeah, you have to pay for people's time, and people's knowledge, and it's so worth it when you're able to grow on as an outcome. So like my mentee, this girl has already made her investment in the class back in 2 weeks, and I'm not saying that everybody can do that, but I'm saying that it's worked for her, and I'm very happy for her that she was able to do that and keep moving forward, keep learning, keep growing. So y'all, I'm gonna wrap up this episode. I just wanted to share this because my friend was like, it just looks like you got it together and looks like you don't stumble. And I'm like, nah, it's still hard, and it's been hard throughout the journey. Like, is it always hard? No, but every time it's time to level up, and every time it's time to learn something different and do something different and do something better, yeah, it is gonna be tough because it's a learning curve. You have to learn new things, and after you learn them, you have to apply them and perfect them and master them. And once you get to that point, it's time to move on to the next thing, or learn another lesson. So plant your seeds, y'all. Plant them all, because you never know at what time which seed gonna sprout, and you can always have harvest coming in. Don't run yourself thin though. Be smart and be strategic about it. Join the mentorship program so I can help you through that. But y'all, that's it for this episode. I'm gonna leave y'all with this last scripture that has really been carrying me through this season, and that scripture is Zechariah 4:10, and it reads, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Y'all just do the work, take the step, and then take the next step, even if there are baby steps. Thank y'all for tuning into this episode. And I think today is Friday. Y'all have a great weekend.